Hi guys, this is Pertaining to Rose. I'm with Jumping Jewel Beans today. She made this beautiful ham and beans, or not ham and beans, sausage and bean soup. I had to taste test it. It was amazing. Now it's not super thick, but it will get thicker. I'm gonna turn this a little bit in the jars. But we kind of wanted to show you this process. It's so easy. So I'm just going to get right into it. She's got this great big ladle and I just love it. We also got the sausage gravy over here on the left. So we're going to keep some of this out for meals, but... And now I'm not debubbling and all that. Usually if I do debubble it, I will use like a...
Butter knife?
What do you call it?
Butter knife?
No. I don't put metal down in there. The wooden skewers.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you can use white vinegar, clean the lids. I just have a wet napkin here. It's of water, warm water on there. And everything was washed. You just want to tighten that up. I'm going to move this out of the way. Here's her. Doesn't that look pretty?
That looks very pretty.
Yeah. Then move that out of the way until we can get our other stuff put together. I think this is going to be more than 7 jars. I think the first one is going to be raw ham and bean soup. And yes, as they say, you need an inch of head space. We just measure up to the neck unless it's something we know is gonna, like beef cubes and stuff. They make their own juice and it will bring it up, or things that we know that are gonna thicken it, then we'll put it a little lower, which is important. But I don't measure out the head space and all that. Neither does Joel. We just do. That's one of our downfalls. We just do. Sometimes if we want to know how to do something, we flick on YouTube, which is a wonderful, wonderful educator. We love YouTube.
Well, and there's a lot of things that I've forgotten over the years. So sometimes I turn on YouTube and I'm like, oh... Because not necessarily are the people doing it the way I do it, but just a refresher in the basics reminds me how to do it. So I love YouTube. I used to make fun of people who would say, look it up on YouTube. And now whenever I don't know something, I look it up on YouTube. And I've become a big Googler too. If there's a question I don't know an answer to, because I have to have answers to questions.
Do crabs have eyebrows?
Yeah, like, do crabs have eyebrows? No, they do not. I know that because Google told me so.
And yes, we did not strain the grease off of the pork sausage just because this is our own pork. And it made very little grease to begin with. But it adds flavor. And let me tell you something about grease. When you let a little bit into your food, a little bit of fats and stuff, it is actually good to fight against dementia and Alzheimer's. You need some fat content in your meals. It's very important.
Yeah, we were at one of my doctors the other day, and when he found out I've lost 50 pounds, he's like, he looked at me and he's like, how? And he was very happy to hear that I hadn't given up fats, because he said that's what your brains are made out of, is a lot of that. You need those fats to keep your brain active. He said without the fats, your brain you'll get Alzheimer's and stuff, which with the carnivore diet, you can sit around and eat bacon all day. And yeah, I'm very impressed with it.
We all love bacon.
Sign me up. If I can eat bacon and cheese, I'm all for it.
Yeah, me too. But I gotta have my vegetables. I gotta have my beans.
Beans are protein.
Yeah. I have really low blood sugar. And,
And she gets hangry.
yes, I do. It causes my temper to be something else.
Mm-hmm.
And, Joel can attest to that. My kids know me well enough that when my kids are around, they see me getting angry about something, they will literally go make me a sandwich.
I hand her food too.
Yeah.
I'm like, here. She's like, I'm not hungry. I think you are.
I went a little over with that one. So let me grab a spoon here. Try that. Oh, no, that's pretty
No,
good.
yeah.
It just looked more in the...
Yeah. In the, well, you still had the thing in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yes, we will be rebel canning this. Just so you know. If you didn't catch the last video, we said in that one.
Yeah, USDA. This is not USAID. DA approved. We are rebels.
Well, there's not going to be much left over for dinner.
Well, then maybe you gotta call it quits and.
Well, look, see how much is in there.
That should be. Yeah, you should keep that for dinner.
Okay. So, we're going to...
Unless you're not going to be hungry.
Well, I already ate a big bowl of it.
Yeah, but it's only what time in the day?
Yeah.
You're not going to want to eat no more today?
No. I'm going to want to eat.
Yeah. So we're going to need to save some for you and the hubby.
Well, I figure it this way. 1 jar for me, 1 jar for you and your hubby.
Yeah, okay.
You want to show them this pan?
And this is, of course, the sausage gravy.
Joel did a wonderful job making these.
This is my happy place. When my son was small, well, young, he always had lots of buddies that would be staying at our house and stuff. So I could always cook big. And then he went and growed up and moved away. And so I had to try to figure out how to cook for two. And that, for me, it just took all the fun out of cooking. But now that Rose and I are getting back into canning, I'm enjoying cooking again. It's back to being my happy place because I can make bunches of stuff and we can can it. And then when we're feeling blah about stuff, we can just pull it out of the cabinet and there we go. We got supper.
Or when we have an extremely busy day.
Yes.
If you notice, I got these jars on a cutting board. They're just easier to maneuver around on the towel, and it doesn't make as much of a mess. Of course, I should have turned it. If you do any canning, yeah, don't do that. We won't use that jar. Might have to open some more. Some of these. If you drop a jar or hit it up against metal, don't use it. And jars are precious because they're expensive. Let me tell you.
Very much so.
Oh, the sausage gravy turned out so good. And this will thicken up upon standing inside the jar too.
And when you open the jar to heat it back up, as you heat it, it will thicken up. That's why I didn't cook it till it was really, really thick because then I was afraid of it becoming too thick.
Right.
And if we're not here, I don't know that my husband would know to just add a little bit of milk to thin it down some. So I wanted to make it as easy as possible for him.
And he likes thick stuff to begin with.
So when he heats it up in the saucepan, it's gonna be the perfect consistency for him.
And we still have leftovers from what we made yesterday of this.
Yes.
In the fridge. So, depending how this goes, we might have to do a couple pots tonight. I think we're going to have way more than 2 canning things, canning pots, because they hold 7 quarts each. And the quarts are perfect for us. Like I said, one jar for me, 1 jar for them. Actually, 2 jars would be good for a family of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Usually 1 jar is good enough for 2 people, but we kind of like our leftovers too.
Yeah.
So if we have a little bit left over for the next day for lunch, or add with breakfast, or somebody feeling frisky and wants to make biscuits.
Don't look at me. I made the gravy. I want you to make biscuits. I have actually even been calling people saying, I need biscuits, and nobody's having mercy on me and come making me biscuits.
She does.
So I'm going to have to break down and make myself biscuits. And then they'll have the nerve to want to eat those biscuits I made.
Absolutely.
See?
She's going to be doing cheese danishes.
Yes.
And we're going to probably film that.
Yes.
So that we can all see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And I think I'm going to make some cheese, just cheese, and then maybe some grape or strawberry and cheese.
Well, that'll be good.
Yeah. And that way we will have some to freeze. And you just can pull them out and pop them in the microwave, and there you'll have breakfast.
This is very, very good. We were so happy with this, how this turned out. As a matter of fact, my eyes were bigger than my stomach. A lot bigger than my stomach. Are you tilting that up or down? On the
jar.
Running out of space.
In all honesty, too, I mean, the more we can put in the cupboard, the better off we are. I used to keep my cupboards overstocked. And my husband used to be like, why? Well, then, quite a while ago, my mother had a stroke, and I wound up leaving home for 6 months to go take care of her where she was. And when I got home, he's never said anything since, because he didn't have to buy anything but eggs, milk, and bread the whole time I was gone, because the cupboards were full. So I'm getting back to that, where I want to make sure that if anything ever happens, people are taken care of. Besides, I enjoy it.
Me too. This year we're going to do quite a bit of gardening.
Yes.
We going to do potatoes. You name it. We got a bunch of different seeds.
And anything you watch us make, I don't always say what all. I add garlic to everything, onions to damn near everything. The truth of the matter is, you can add whatever spices you want. I don't go crazy with spices. I have a very finicky stomach. But you can add to your taste. I don't show a lot of me putting a lot of spices in it, because I don't want you to think that's what you have to do.
Right.
You season it to your taste. And that's why I'm not showing me throwing seasonings in. I do. I'm always throwing garlic salt and stuff in.
Right.
Onion powder.
The Amish guy that actually did our sausage, processed our pig for us, they make sausage and they add sage to it. And me and her are not big sage people. So that was a big thing. Not to have the sauce, not to have that sage in there.
Yeah.
Well, some people really like sage in their sausage. And I don't mind a little bit, but I know some people tend to overdo it. And then it overpowers and takes that whole flavoring. But you could use any kind of pork sausage.
Yeah.
You know, and you can even mix it with, hamburger or something if you want it to stretch out even farther. But it's just really, really good just to use a regular sausage or an Italian sausage.
You're going to want to wait with that jar for a few minutes. It's bubbling, yeah. Apparently it's got a lot of...
That's okay. I don't know if we're going to get a whole nother jar. So we'll have to see here. What do we got? 2, 4,
13,
6.
14.
We got 14 total. This might, what do you think?
That would make another one.
Then we'll be one off.
That's okay. We'll give that one to Kathy.
Okay.
Because she wanted a jar.
Okay. But she'll have to eat it right away.
Yeah.
Or I put it in the fridge and eat it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think she plans on eating it as soon as I give it to her.
Oh, I'm sure she will.
So we can actually put it in a bowl if we wanted to for her.
It's okay. As long as we get our jar back, we're happy with it. So we've been doing all this canning. And just the other day, Jewel remembered she had this great ladle.
Yeah, I'm like, where's my big ladle? Rose's like, you don't have one. I said, yeah, I do. Somewhere in this house there's this great big ladle. And here it was hanging in the pantry the whole time. I'm like, did that husband of mine swipe that ladle for out at the smoker or the the grill or whatever? And she had walked right past it, and then finally she said, it's hanging right here. I'm like, oh, yeah. I should have seen it. So, and that made our life extremely easier.
Yes. Boy, that ladle came in. Boy, I wish we would have had it for the lard to begin with. Last 2 jars of the lard. That's when we realized.
That's when we found it, yeah.
Okay, so this one here is going for Kathy. I'm going to put that one to the side. We're going to move these out of the way. Now this product was not boiling. I'm going to put our little thing up there. And then I'll lower it down in. This product was not boiling, so we don't have to add boiling water to the pan.
We can just add water.
Hot water, yes. That'll be nice. Okay, now let me go grab the other pan quick. So I'm going to sneak past you. Almost done here. We're going to cook this for, what did you say, 90 minutes?
Mm-hmm. Because it does have meat and stuff in it. So we're going to do it for the full 90 minutes. And I mean, again, it's up to you whether you want to do it this way or not. I can't tell you what to do. I just can tell you what we do.
It's not FDA recommended.
Yeah, it's not USDA recommended. So, but, they didn't recommend bacon for years, and I still ate it. So, I mean, I lived this long. I mean, I'm almost 64 years old, and I've lived this long eating this stuff. So,
yeah, it didn't kill us. It didn't make any of us sick.
Right. So everybody has to make their own decision about it. I find that this natural food that we're doing this way is better for us than the food that has all the chemicals in it. So, whether it's FDA, USDA approved or not, to me, it's good to go. So, but you have to make that decision for yourselves.
And no, I'm not putting vinegar in the water or anything. It doesn't take long when you're removing your rings to wipe down the jars with a damp cloth. I'm not going to waste my white vinegar on just because I don't want a little film on my jars that I can't wipe. You know, I mean, it wipes right off. We use other things and we like to ferment things. So that's where my vinegars and stuff go to.
Yeah.
Things like that. And white vinegar is great for cleaning.
And absolutely hate it when we go for it and we're all because we've wasted it.
Yeah. So no, the people that fill up the little jars, the little bowls of vinegar to wipe off seven rims. I don't do all that. And no, I didn't boil the lids or anything like that. They will seal in the pot. And the water, I'm only putting up to the neckline.
Right. And the thing about it is it's going to boil.
Yes.
So I don't understand the need to boil before you boil. So my mom never did. She made sure everything was clean, and that was the end of it.
Who's in your kitchen?
There's that husband. How was your bean soup?
That's good.
This is our New York mountain man.
That's the leftover soup for supper.
Okay. I'm going to watch football.
All right.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably go a little bit more. And the reason why we don't put the water above the lids is because it causes siphoning. And it causes your product to siphon out and water to siphon in.
It makes a huge mess.
Yes. And then, you know, sometimes it reseals and that jar is bad then. And then you got a jar of bad product on your shelf. And you don't know it until you go for it a year from now to eat it. You know, and that's what you have to be careful with. So I do watch videos and I see them filling the water over, and I couldn't quite remember, but I didn't think.
But we tried it.
Yeah,
we tried it.
And we had siphoning.
And we had siphoning. And I said, my mother never had siphoning. I don't remember ever having siphoning. I thought the water was only supposed to, and we agreed that we didn't think that was the way that our parents had done it. So since we have quit putting the water up that high, we've had no siphoning.
Yeah.
Everything has sealed. Everything has been wonderful.
We had one jar out of hundreds that did not seal.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it was just like a little particle that got on there. It wasn't cleaned properly, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It had one little spot. Will make it not seal.
Yeah.
Almost ready for this. We got that one on. Now I will put the lids on this, and it'll boil and steam, and that there helps the process too. I'm like, getting water everywhere.
And that's why the dogs know to not be in the kitchen.
Yes. Okay.
You notice that they were brave when Daddy was here. But as soon as Daddy left, so they got out of the kitchen.
Yeah, they know better.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to pause it here, and we will come back, and you can help us take it out of the jars, and we'll see you in 90 minutes. Let me pause that. just to show you, we're waiting for this to come up to a boil before we start the timer. Just so you remember that part. Yeah, she wanted to be on video. What are you doing, Candy? How about you, Winnie? Look at that hairdo. That's Phyllis Diller. That's Phyllis Diller. She was out rolling in the snow and messed up her pretty hairdo. Just showing you the snow. I mean, it don't look like much because it gets warm enough, it doesn't stop snowing, but it gets warm enough that some of it melts off, or you go places and it comes off. But believe me, we've had a lot of snow, and it's just been constant snowing, constant snowing. Look at how pretty you are. Look at that doggy. It's boiling good. Ooh, just checking my water levels. Now, once you get hot boiling water in there and it gets down there, you want to kind of add boiling water to it and not just hot water. Because it's boiling, you don't want to change temperatures on your jars. But if it gets really down there, I might just let it go because the steam with the lids on is still pressure cooking it. So that's one thing that will definitely go. And make sure you got a good gripper for taking your jars out because you'll need that. I'll see you in a little bit. What are you two doing? Are you two hugging mommy's feet? Yes. Two of them hugging mommy's feet. Where are you? You are one big fur ball. That one looks like a big old bear sleeping there.
Okay, and we're back. Our timer's going off, and pertaining to Rose is getting ready to remove the jars.
I'm not going to lift that whole thing up. Put these heavy hot jars in it. I'll pull out jar by jar. So I did have to add water, which I ran water through the coffee pot to make it hot enough to go in there so it didn't calm down the boiling. But as you can see, the water really burnt down there. And when you have bigger burners that do that. Now, these you should put them about an inch apart, but we don't have much counter space in this little tiny kitchen. So we just put them up there as much as we can. And tomorrow, after they've all been calmed down, I'll take off the outer rings and I'll wipe down the jars. And I'll label them what they are. So if Rusty goes rooting through the pantry or out kitchen and wants to grab himself some, he knows exactly what he's grabbing. He can read the labels and see what it is. And they're very, very hot. So you gotta be careful not to put the glass up against each other. Once you knock them up against each other, it can cause an internal breakage and get down in your food. And if you don't know that you chipped it or something, oh, that one popped. And tomorrow when I go check them, I'll take off the rims and I'll clean them down. And then I'll check to make sure these little things went down in. And I'll lift it by the lid. And they're pretty heavy jars, so that'll tell me the lid will come off if it did not seal properly. What I call that is an extra thing. And we did not add salt to these. So some people wonder, you know, why didn't you put Redmond salt or something in yours? Not all of us can have a lot of salt or a lot of sodium. And I think we season it enough that we really don't need all of that to go in there. Oh, they look pretty. They're like boiling up.
And actually, when I'm cooking, I put garlic salt and onion salt and stuff in.
Yeah.
So
no
we've got
iodized
salt.
but
So, yeah.
don't ask me why no iodized salt, but that's what they say. Now these will take till tomorrow morning at least to cool down enough for me to clean them and get them labeled and the rings off. We don't ever store them with the rings on.
Because if the rings are on and they unseal, they can reseal and you'd never know that they had unsealed.
Yes.
And that way you would be eating food that was no good. Although, as I said, we're very much aware of checking things before we would serve them.
Yes.
So.
And we taste test everything we cook. So.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't get this plump little figure here by not eating everything.
Yeah, we definitely love to taste test our foods. That's a biggie. Now I cleaned everything else up. I'm going to let these pans cool down. And then they'll be my last things to scrub up. And that's it. Everything's ready and raring to go. You want to show them that? So we got 6, 7 of the sausage and gravy and 7 of the sausage and bean soup. So we're very happy with what we got out of that. That's 14 jars, plus we did the extra jar over here, which is going to our friend Kathy. That wasn't quite a quart, but I'm sure she'll be happy with it. So that one didn't go in the canner. But thank you anyway, and thank you so much to Jumpin' Joe Bean. She's my cameraman today. Okay, love yous guys.
Love you, bye.
Bye. There she is.